Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 1. In the last episode, well, Tomotaki apparently died in a very horrific fashion. In fact, shortly after we last saw him, after the festival ended. He apparently was supposedly attacked by multiple assailants, and then right leading up to his death, he went into some bizarre fit of hysteria and ended up clawing out his own throat, severing some arteries, and caused himself to bleed out to death. It didn't sound exactly very pleasant, to say the least. We found out about this when a detective decided to come visit Keiichi because he's a new resident of Hinamizawa, so the detective thought that he'd be the most trustworthy person he could talk to about this because of that. And to basically tell him, the detective, about anything suspicious that he might notice, in case he does notice anything at all. On top of that, we also learned from the same detective that, well, he didn't say outright that I do firmly believe that there's some kind of conspiracy being held by the villagers to possibly murder outsiders or enemies of the village, but he kind of strongly hinted that there does seem to be a sentiment brewing that there might be a conspiracy in the village doing just that, and that Tomotaki was just its latest victim. Now, as for me personally, I have no idea yet if there's any actual credence to this, or if it's just a result of a supernatural curse or anything of the sort. But all I know for sure is that, well, I don't really think that whatever is going on here is just going to go away on its own. It's going to keep coming back to haunt me in some fashion or another. And it's probably going to get only worse and worse from here on out. So, I'm just going to take this one day at a time and hope that maybe, just maybe, nothing seriously bad will end up happening to Keiichi, his family, or hell, even his friends. But time will tell, I guess. So let's just go ahead and continue. See what kind of crazy hijinks we'll get up to in this episode. Sleepy. Whoa. That was a really big yawn, Keiichi-kun. I'm usually awake once it's time to eat, but it doesn't look like I can do it today. I was watching TV until late last night, so I'm tired right now. Was one of those raunchy TV shows you love so much on last night? How extremely vile! Don't jump to conclusions! It's perfectly normal for boys. Nothing to be ashamed about. You shouldn't even have any in-depth knowledge on this sort of shit. How old are you again? Rika not patting my head only made me feel worse. Could you just let me pass out this lunch break? No, seriously. My, you think I would just sit here and allow that? I'll get really angry if you disturb me. Oh wait, I thought that she was still talking. I'll get really angry if you disturb me. Really angry. Prepare to be disturbed. This was just dreadful. Just so sleepy. I slumped my head onto the desk and drifted off into an afternoon nap. It seemed that Satoko had responded, but I pretended not to hear. Cut it out, Satoko-chan. Keiichi-kun fell asleep. His sleeping face. So cute! You can take him home later. Let him be for now. Let's move over there. It'd be rude to Keiichi if we bothered him now. Rika-chan really is a good girl. Let's not wake him up even if the teacher comes back. I take that back. The excuse that I didn't sleep much last night because I was watching TV was a lie. I was in bed at the usual time, but because of the conversation with Fuushi-san that afternoon, I didn't get much sleep. Can't say I'm surprised. Just spending the day like this. It's almost as if the incident with Tomotaki-san didn't happen at all. It made me think. What, was Fuushi-san just trying to deceive me? I don't see why he would want to. But it was probably the truth. One thing was certain. I couldn't speak to anyone about it. He wanted my assistance, but I really didn't know anything about it. If I knew I wasn't going to be of any help, I probably wouldn't have listened in the first place. It ended up with me, again, regretting learning something I didn't need to know. If I had never learned about it, I would, without doubt, be goofing off with the rest of them right now. I couldn't help but resent Uishi-san for this. Huh? When was that? I heard he wasn't there the next day. It appears he vanished the night of the Wachanagashi. Who? Tomotaki? Mion whispered to keep the others from listening, but I could hear it clearly. On the other hand, Rena's voice was even harder to pick up. But I could still tell she was quite upset. Couldn't be. Are you talking about Tomotaki-san? You mean Tomotaki? Not sure. That's all I know. I would have to feign ignorance about this topic because I need to keep it a secret. Rather than waking up and being forced to lie to join the conversation, it was much easier just to sit here and pretend I was asleep, to listen in on their discussion. Wait. Why did I have to pretend to be asleep while eavesdropping on my friends' conversation? Because you didn't want to bother them with this shit? I believe that was your reasoning? The guilt stung. So, and me. There are others, right? Too. They don't know if it's from the curse, or if this was an Onikakushi. Onikakushi? To be hidden away by a demon? What a mysterious phrase. I did, however, get the feeling it meant nothing good. Yeah, well, there was another, right? Right? If it's Oyashiro-sama's. Yeah. But... this year... at all? Grandma and the mayor had talked about it. Seems they talked to the police about it beforehand. They said they'd take care of whatever happens this year without causing a commotion. Then, without us knowing it, someone had misled? Lied? Them? You mean... maybe. Next could... me. I wonder. Don't worry. You got home safely. But... is... not allowed, right? What's not allowed? That was a long time ago. Let's stop talking about this. Amidst the uncomfortable mood, both of them went silent. The entirety of the conversation was still a bit unclear, but a few parts caught my attention. First of all, the term onikakushi, to be demoned away. By the context it was used in, I would guess it's similar to being spirited away. I suspected that was what it meant because Tomotaki-san and that woman really bugged me that I don't know her name. Vanished after the Watanagashi. The next thing that stuck out was when Rena said, "There's another one, right?" Mion also said, "If it's Oishiro-sama's, yeah," responding to something. If it's Oishiro-sama's curse, then there had to be 2 victims. Is that what she meant? Come to think of it, I remember Mion saying at the beginning that they didn't know if it was from the curse or if it was a case of onikakushi. It seems that the curse and being demoned away are different things, and they were phenomena that were paired together. I recalled Tomotaki-san's terrible end. That wasn't something as elegant as disappearing. That horrendous end would be best described as cursed. Then, the woman with him. It means she vanished because she was demoned away? Who knows? What I do know is that there's normally an even number of victims of the curse proper. It's true, isn't it? With the exception of the foreman of the dam project. Unless you consider the last perpetrator of that incident getting away and disappearing without a trace to be the second person who either ended up dying or being demoned away, as you put it. In which case, yes, then it would be an even number of people all the way through. And the last point that bothered me was Rena. Rena was frightened. For what reason, I don't know. However, she knew that something had made her a potential target for Oishiro-sama's curse. If I recall correctly, Oishiro-sama should be the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. Isn't a guardian deity supposed to defend the citizens and drive out invaders? If I recall correctly, yesterday Uishi-san said that originally the targets were enemies of the village. But recently, there was no longer any distinction between them or regular outsiders. Then for all we know... No, wait... I don't know. If it is the work of a curse, then it is of the guardian deity, then it is strange then that the guardian deity would stop making any distinctions between any enemies and just plain outsiders, like you said. But if that was the case, then I would think that I'd be the more likely target, having moved here more recently than Rena. From her composure, I could infer that she was grimly certain that she would be next. I should probably relay what I heard just now to Ushi-san, informing the police of what I heard by eavesdropping on my friends while pretending to be asleep. It made me feel terrible. It raised a few questions and left me with a bad taste in my mouth. Would it be better not to seek the answers to those questions? I think it would be better, because let's say that this is the work of a conspiracy. Then there's been serial murderings going on for years now, And I think it'd be highly irresponsible to just let them possibly continue indefinitely. And at present, we have no reason to suspect that there might be, it might have some, that whatever's going on here, that there may be some police corruption involved. So I don't think we need to just be distrustful of the authorities of doing their job. So if I were you, I would just cooperate with the authorities for now. As I continued to learn more and more, I felt like I had fallen past the point of no return. I would definitely regret this one day. I would definitely regret ever having learned of these events. The teacher approaches. Keiichi-san, you must awaken. In the distance, I could hear the ring of the handbell signaling the start of afternoon classes. Gah! I couldn't sleep at all. I hastily opened my eyes and raised my head up. It was in that moment when I leaned against the back of my seat. Ugh! There was a thumbtack stuck on the back of my chair with tape. Ow! Circumstantial evidence was enough. Satoko! Guilty without trial. Capital punishment. I fiercely jumped up from my seat, and I tripped as if my feet were tangled up. My shoelaces had been tied together. Not bad, Satoko! While I was sleeping, you were able to conceal your presence, and able to pull off this fine piece of work. I bet the teacher is not amused. The teacher came in right as I was about to pull off my shoes and tackle Satoko. Oh! Did you not notice that our teacher has arrived, Keiichi-san? Take your seat. Not caring one bit, I made her eat a flick to the forehead. Wah! Keiichi-san is being mean! You started it. Hey! Don't pick on the younger kids, Maebara-kun. Apologize to her. I saw Satoko stick her tongue out at me. Little brat! Come on! Maebara-kun! Yeah, I'll apologize. Sorry to Satoko-san. In any case, I apologized, even if it was in a completely insincere tone of voice. Damn her, I'll remember this. Kei-chan, Kei-chan, get your revenge at the club meeting. Take your seat, take your seat. I sat down after Mion told me to. She'd switched to class representative mode. With the boring classes finished, school was finally over for the day. Now then, what should we do for our club today? Personally, I would like to play that deduction game one more time. I was hardly able to play it last time because of Ushi-san. Rena and I weren't even able to test out our strategy. That's right. Today, Keiichi-kun and I will be victorious. What should we do? We never played the same game 2 days in a row before. Why not try asking me? Mion looked over her shoulder as we made eye contact. She slowly tapped her palm with her fist as her face suddenly lit up. Oops! I completely forgot. I need to go help my uncle today. Sorry guys, not today. Helping your uncle? Aren't you a little goody two-shoes? Sorry, really. I really did forget. Well then, sorry guys. This old man is heading back home now. Mion left us with that and rushed off to the exit after snatching up her bag. You see, Mi-chan, she sometimes goes to help out her uncle at her uncle's shop in town. Ah, I thought she wasn't the type to get caught up in such bothersome stuff. She said that she gets paid for it. It's quite a bit of spending money from what I hear. I see. She was able to pay for that mountain of games with what she saved up from there. But that... wouldn't you call that a part-time job? Isn't that against school policy? There's a clause that states family businesses are excluded. Is that what she's calling it? So what now? Pass on the club today? So, we're done today, I guess? Won't it be fine even without the club president? Let's do this! I opened the club locker and began searching for the deduction game from that ever-growing pile of games. Ah, here it is. The deduction game from yesterday. Man, I had to stop just as I was getting the hang of it. At the very least, I wanted to repay Satoko for what she did during the afternoon break. I do not mind. But is that fine for Rena-san and Rika? If Keiichi-kun wants to so badly, I wouldn't mind playing for a bit. I'm sensing some hesitation, Rena. I think it's better if we do it when we have everyone together. When she says it like that... I wanted to go shopping if there wasn't a club meeting today. Going to buy some soy sauce and other things. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot. Well, I guess since it's been a while, I should go treasure hunting. What's this now? Everyone was no longer in the mood for club activities. If I kept on trying to push the matter, it may make them realize I had a trick up my sleeve. Oh well. I'll give up this time. Man, I was really looking forward to playing it. I shuffled through the cards as if I still caught up on it. At the next opportunity, I shall give you a sound thrashing. Oh! The murderer is Satoko. The murder weapon is the pistol. It was you after all! What did you say? Then I'll just... Satoko looked through the cards on the desk and stuck out 3 of them at me. The murderer is Keiichi, in the lounge with the rope. I don't need no rope. I'll just strangle you like this. No! Keiichi-san is such a beast! Look what you're doing. You're making the freaking menu buttons shake. Rapscallion. Phew. I guess it's good that I got that out of my system. Blah! I'll remember this, Keiichi-san. She was used as a plaything for quite a while. How unfortunate. Cute, cute. Everyone got ready to go back home. I also helped gather up the scattered cards. I suddenly paused. There were just the suspect cards, but I noticed something strange. Rena, Satoko, Rika, Keiichi, Mion, Satoshi. Who's Satoshi? Satoshi? Not all the cards were made by us. Or at least every card besides this one has the name of a club member. Does this mean that this Satoshi fellow is a member? Was there someone in the class named Satoshi? I couldn't find anyone named Satoshi on the class roster, stuck up on the wall. Keiichi-kun, let's hurry and finish cleaning up. Being rushed by Rena, I finished up quickly. Satoko and Rika-chan had already headed merrily for their lockers, so we were the only ones left in the classroom. Right now, Rena had already gotten her bag and was ready to leave. Rena, there must be quite a few people who transferred from this school, right? I tried asking Rena in a bit of a roundabout way. Rena made a troubled face and then answered. Yeah. Hinamizawa's a rural town, right? Some people transfer out every now and then. Then is Satoshi another one of those transferees? Sorry. I don't really know. There was a bit of a pause, but the answer was pretty much immediate. I'm not saying it to be mean. Just last year, I transferred in, so maybe I just missed him. So I didn't hear much about him. Sorry. I don't know. I wonder if you actually do know more than you're letting on. I'm not sure. Sorry. Her answer was a lot like when she refused to tell me about the murder at the dam. I was saddened by her denial, and felt a little bit of anger. I'm their friend, aren't I? Friends don't keep secrets from their friends, do they? Well, it's not like we need to know every little skeleton in our friends and associates' closets. Some of us have got to have some secrets, some privacy. Otherwise, well, I think that society would be a bit more unstable, shall we say. I mean, there is such a thing as honesty to a fault, you know? It just depends, I guess, on what the secret is. Though I do appreciate that they kept that unsettling curse thing from me. But if everyone is worried about it, I'd rather be worried with them. That's what it means to be friends, right? For a moment I just wondered what kind of face I was making just then, with these mixed feelings of sadness and annoyance. Keiichi-kun, you're making a scary face. Why is it? Why? It was probably exactly the kind of face Rena said it was. It appeared my grim expression had frightened her. Sorry. I was really looking forward to the club today. I'm just feeling down about it. I rustled Rena's hair. Let's go home. Dragging that awkward mood with us, we headed home. I wonder why. Why have I been getting this dumb feeling lately? I don't know. I didn't know anything. I had nothing to worry about. I was just enjoying my everyday life. My long, outstretched shadow gave no answer to my naive inquiry. Keiichi-kun, are you tired, maybe? Maybe? Rena timidly questioned the reason behind my mood. I'm sure my expression made this situation even more unsettling. You think so? Yeah. You seem to have been a little out of it ever since this morning. Maybe a cold? Physically, I was pretty sure I was in perfect health. It may not seem like it, but I had perfect attendance since elementary school. Rena continued on since I didn't give her an answer. It could be that the fatigue from moving has finally caught up to you. It's completely different from where you used to live, after all. Of course you've gotten tired, since there's so much you need to get used to and remember. Maybe that's it. Yeah, it has to be. Rena was also like that at first, too. I can tell, you know? You know? I wonder if Rena also experienced a slight bit of alienation last year that I was feeling right now. Thinking so, I felt that she was the only one who could understand how I felt. I'd like to hear about when you first came to Hinamizawa. How was it? Feeling I had been drawn into the conversation, her face suddenly brightened. He was the same as Keiichi-kun. I didn't know the villagers' names at all. Michan and the rest were all very kind, so I wasn't lonely, but I did feel a little out of place. Rena told me all the details of when she had moved here. All of her first acquaintances and surprises, worries and good times. So Toko got you too? Yeah. There was a thumbtack put on my chair. Poke. Then with that, yeah. It really takes me back. When were you invited into the club? First day? Nah. There wasn't a club at the beginning. It was formed partway through. One day she said we should stay after and hold a big game tournament. Okay, so if this club was formed after you came here, then the Satoshi figure should have been a part of it. If those cards with the club members' names were, you know, and again, for all the club members' names, that would have to include the Satoshi person. That sounds very circular, my logic. But yeah, I do think you are hiding something from me regarding the Satoshi fellow. Come to think of it, Mion did say she was the first club president. Now I get it. This is a secret, but Michan used to be really bad at the beginning. She'd never win. Huh? Mion? Really? I can't even imagine that. She had to do most of the penalties that she came up with. Seriously, don't tell. I can't believe Mion was like that. So she gradually transformed into a monster who used any means necessary to win during that time. Mion is at her best when she's fighting dirty. I began making more friends besides Michan after that. But yeah. It might have only been since you moved here that I'd finally felt like I'd gotten used to it here. I guess Rena had also been left in the dark about Ueshiro-sama when she had just moved here. I guess when they finally told me about Ueshiro-sama, I'd be considered one of them. I wonder when I'll finally be considered one of them. Don't monologue this shit out loud. Huh? Did you say something? No, sorry. Just talking to myself. Keiichi-kun, you're silly. Rena was poking fun and laughing at me, and I couldn't help but laugh as well. But I suddenly stopped. Then, after making up my mind, I spoke. What are you about to say? Hey, Rena. Is there something that everybody's keeping from me? Huh. No. Not at all. Very convincing, Rena. I totally believe you. 10 out of 10 would never distrust again. You're lying, aren't you? Rena suddenly stopped. Her expression was cold and intense. Cold? Intense? Rena? That doesn't seem like a good combination. What do you mean by that, Keiichi-kun? Her tone was still the same cheery and light-hearted one as before. You are, aren't you? Keeping something from me? After understanding what I meant, her expression grew even more intense. Seeing that face, I regretted saying something so rash. But she came back at me in a way I didn't expect. I don't like that face. At all. Well then, Keiichi-kun. Aren't you keeping something from us? Huh? Her tone didn't change. But it was the first time I'd seen this expression from Rena. With how her gaze pierced through me, I couldn't believe this was the same Rena. Aren't you? Lies or secrets? Aren't you? You are. Secrets. She didn't actually say that part, but she looked as if she did. The incident with Tomotaki-san, and how I felt alienated from the group. Even without having to think about it, there were things I knew I felt guilty about. But I didn't tell everyone about what happened with Tomotaki-san. To be considerate. I was keeping a secret just the same way they didn't tell me about Orishiro-sama. Then, aren't we even? Well, apparently she doesn't seem to think so. No, I'm not. No lies. Nor secrets. Liar. Her answer was instant, and it shook me. Rena stared as if burrowing through me, watching me, like a hawk. Why would you say I'm lying? Didn't you say that you were called into the teacher's room yesterday during the club meeting, Keiichi-kun? I know. You didn't go to the teacher's room. Were you watching me? I swallowed hard. It clearly wasn't a bluff. She knew what happened. The teacher said you had a guest, didn't she? You didn't even leave the room, did you? You stayed somewhere outside with an earshot. You were keeping an eye on me. But you didn't talk at the entrance. You talked inside of the car near the school gate. With some man we don't know. Rena knew everything. She knew that I was called out by Ushi-san, and that I heard about the incident of Tomotaki-san as well. Did she know all of it? Exactly who was that man? I don't know him. Why did someone you don't know have business with you? I want to know that myself. Then what did you talk about? It had nothing to do with you guys. It was a lie. Lies! Rena's scream echoed through the tree, sending frightened birds into the air. I couldn't exhale the deep breath I had just taken. No. It was like I wasn't allowed to exhale. It was here I first realized. The person in front of me, she wasn't Rena Ryugu. Then, who was it that was standing before me now? Well, split personality disorder, maybe a different personality. If it's not that, maybe this is what we're seeing beneath the happy-go-lucky mask that we've been accustomed to up until now. Clearly, there was more to her than meets the eye. Who had assumed Rena Ryugu's appearance? I had held my breath for so long, I could feel myself suffocating. Right? And then she made a facial expression that Rena normally might have made. It didn't matter that it was Rena's usual smile. It chilled me to the bone. She drew closer to me. I felt her breath against my face. It wasn't the least bit exciting. Oh, great. Sorry about that. Whoever this was with Rena's face was going to chew my nose right off. I cowered as I imagined that. Then, she smirked, as if she was able to see right through me. We also have secrets. Just like how Keiichi-kun has secrets. It was Rena's usual smile, but her eyes were still like that of a hawk's. Bringing her face close enough to mine to almost bump into my nose, she kindly persuaded me. I couldn't nod or shake my head. This person standing in front of me, this person who looked like Rena, frightened me to my core. I was terrified knowing she could hear the sound of me swallowing nervously. After what felt like an eternity, after a long empty silence, she finally spoke. Let's go. It's getting chilly. It was Rena again. Smiling at me once more, she started walking as if nothing at all had happened. When I was released from her gaze, my legs gave out from under me, and I slumped onto the ground. I wasn't able to lift a finger until Rena was out of sight. Who was that? I felt cold. My body was drenched in sweat. I think maybe you should go consort with your... Well, yeah, go consort with Mr. Detective about this sort of thing. Because me, personally, if I were in your shoes, I would definitely feel a bit threatened. I would feel threatened enough here to definitely consider, you know, letting the law enforcement officer who visited me earlier know that, hey, it would seem as though that my group of friends seem suspicious of me, or at least one of them does. So, yeah, I don't know what to make of it, but I don't feel safe, exactly. I was finally able to form a coherent thought and ask myself once again, who was that person who looked like Rena Ryugu. What if that was Rena Ryugu, man? I was out of it, and couldn't bring myself to do anything until dinner, except stare blankly into space. Was I terrified from Rena going off on me? Well, I would certainly have it on my mind for a good while, at least, if I was in your position. No, that's not right. That was someone else who only looked like Rena. Then, who could it have been? It was a dreadful feeling, knowing that was someone else, not Rena. So tomorrow I shouldn't have any problem talking to Rena like I usually do. You're taking this literally, aren't you? That the person that walked back home with was in fact some kind of imposter. I don't know, maybe you're getting a bit too absorbed in the symbolicness of it, or whatever. That thought was strangely comforting. I concluded that I should just calm down and clear my head, though those thoughts continued swirling around in my mind. Finally, I returned to my senses as I heard my mother calling out to me from the bottom of the steps. Keiichi! It's a call from the bookstore. Bookstore? Can't think of why they'd be calling me. I went downstairs and picked up the receiver anyway. My apologies for calling so late at night. It's me, Uishi of the Okinomiya bookshop. Uishi-san? Oh, it's Uishi-san. Sorry. Since your parents picked up, I said I was from the bookstore. It puts people off when I say I'm a police officer. Uishi-san was, in his own way, rather courteous. Even so, I didn't want my parents hearing me talk to police. I brought the cordless phone with me as I dashed back up to my room on the second floor. Tell them what happened between you and Rena. Sorry for calling so late. That phone number on the piece of paper I gave you yesterday was the old number. My apologies. Can you copy down the number I'm about to give you? Yeah. Okay. He gave me the number for his direct line as I wrote it down. I thought that was the end of it, but he began making pointless small talk, and it was pretty hard to hang up. So how's it been, Maebara-san? Did anything strange happen recently? I see. This was the real reason. He really beat around the bush there. His adult conversational skills left me slack-jawed. Are you from around here, Uishi-san? Yeah, I am. Born and raised in Okinomiya. If he's from around here, he might know. Uishi-san. Do you know what this Onikakushi thing is about? I believe that's when somebody suddenly vanishes because they've been abducted by a demon. It's a special saying from around here. It has the same meaning as spirited away, like everyone else says. Whereas my friends would say they didn't know when I asked. This older man gave me a direct answer. It made me a bit happy that he answered me directly without trying to hide anything. Hinamizawa was... I'm not sure if I should tell you this, Maebara-san. Don't try to play this off. If you're not going to talk, then I'm not going to tell you anything. No. That's not what I meant. It's just... it may make you feel bad. You see, long ago, Hinamizawa was feared as the village where demons reside. Demons like Rena? That like cute things and don't like secrets? Demons? By demons you mean those pitchfork-carrying things in hell. More like human-eating monsters. They go down to villages snatching people up and gobbling them down. That kind of tale. Demons snatching up people is what this Onikakushi really means. They said that the curse and being demoned away happened together. What does that mean? I already knew about the mysterious deaths happening 5 years in a row. But I didn't know there were people disappearing for those same 5 years. The curse and being demoned away happened together. First time I've heard of that. Is that how it is, Maebara-san? That's what I want to know. I heard Rena and Mion talking. They said if it was really Uyashiro-sama's curse, then both the curse and demoning away would happen. Uishi-san began hemming and hawing on the other end of the receiver. Maybe something about that came to mind. Maebara-san, do you know the first incident? The murder by dismemberment? Yeah. One of the 6 perpetrators is still on the run, right? Hypothetically. What if he isn't on the run, but was demoned away? I already thought of that possibility. Huh? It was an outrageous hypothesis from Uishi-san. The incident 4 years ago was the particularly ghastly one. The police already knew the perpetrators, so they posted tons of wanted posters with his face on them. They staked out various locations and investigated every possible escape route he had. But after 4 years, there wasn't even a hint of where he might be. Unless the police were completely incompetent. Even if it was an outrageous hypothesis, I couldn't simply laugh it off. And what about the incident the next year? When the man who supported the project and his wife both died in an accident? Well, actually, it was only the husband who died in an accident. His wife's body never resurfaced. Unless we find the body, then it's considered a missing person by law. At the time of the incident, with the river below the cliff being muddy rapids, the police divers had searched every branch off the main stream of the river for dozens of miles. But in the end, they weren't able to find her body. But that's just them not being able to find the body. She's still dead, right? Isn't it different from her being demoned away? We cannot say someone is dead without their body. Until a certain number of years pass, by law she's treated as still alive. I'm not sure if it was right to call that being demoned away. The wife is missing. At least that part was reality. How about the 3rd year? The Shindo priest died of illness, and his wife committed suicide? Maebara-san. That's actually the exact same scenario. The wife had supposedly thrown herself into the bottomless marsh deep in the forest around Hinamizawa. Meaning it's all circumstantial evidence. They simply found her suicide note in front of the marsh. A diver was able to recover a few remnants, but they weren't able to find a body. The investigative headquarters believed that she had faked her death and was still alive somewhere. I'm not sure if we could call these cases as being demoned away. It's just as you said. Every year one person does go missing. The incident this year, the woman with Tomotaki-sen has gone missing. Then what about the incident with the housewife beaten to death? Who went missing? I believe the perpetrator was caught, right? Yeah, we arrested him. He was just a miscreant with a record of narcotics abuse. He admitted to the crime while being questioned about a different incident. But, well, you see, after he was arrested, a child from the victim's home went missing. It's still under investigation as to whether the disappearance had anything to do with the crime. But you said you caught him, right? Did he have an accomplice? No idea. It's considered a separate case. Moreover, we can't even check now. Because while under investigation, that man, he died in his holding cell. He swallowed a spork and choked to death. It's not known whether it was an accident or suicide. Meaning, for the last 5 years, there's always one person who dies and one person who goes missing. That's about right. No, actually, I'm surprised as well. I never realized they had that in common. I couldn't believe that this could help lead to the closing of those incidents. It was just something they had in common. Could it be that those demoned away has something in common? That's a good question. Uchi-san mumbled as he seemed to be thinking about it. So I summarized the events. The first year was the dam employee. Second year was the wife of a dam project supporter. Third year was the wife of the Shinto priest. Fourth year was the victim's family's child. And the fifth year was the victim's girlfriend. I guess. It doesn't seem like there's anything that connects them. With the exception of the first year, wives and girlfriends, those do stand out. It does seem like there are a lot. That means the fourth year's victim's child was different. It would have really stood out if it were all married couples. Except it's not just married couples, but parents and children as well. Come to think of it, I believe Tomotaki-san also told me the younger brother is alive and has moved, if I recall correctly. The child that went missing in the fourth year, who were they? Apparently he was quite mature, 1 year older than you. His name was Satoshi Hojo-san. Isn't that the same last name as Satoko? And also the name that we saw on those cards? Satoko, is there a relative of yours that I don't know about, that you never said anything? Or frankly, any of you have told me about? Huh? Satoshi? I remembered that name. Didn't they tell me Satoshi transferred out last year? Well, if it's the same exact Satoshi, then apparently they lied to you about that too. He was at your school up until last year. Didn't they tell you anything about him? Come to think of it, when I transferred in, I believe they said my seat belonged to a recent transfer student. Then, where I sat, once belonged to the one who was demoned away. It was his seat? Well, that's a freaky coincidence. I recalled the cold sensation that came from that desk. It made my hair stand on end. The string of mysterious deaths. No, Orishiro-sama's curse. I now knew how it connected to me. That chilling sensation. It was the feeling of Orishiro-sama caressing the back of my neck. Oyashiro-sama's curse. Huh? Could Orishiro-sama's curse really exist? In all honesty, I was beginning to believe it. And I was scared. That's why I wanted to say it was a plot crafted by man and not the work of a curse. But the more I dug into it, the less likely that seemed. No. The more I dug, the more mysterious it became. If I kept digging, eventually, I'd reach the point where I'd learned something I really shouldn't know. But you're gonna keep going, aren't you? And frankly, I'd be dumb enough to do the same thing too. To either be none the wiser, or to seek an answer I may regret. Which one would I be happier with? Maybe it'll be me next time. My execution can only be delayed for 1 year. That was when I remembered. Rena. Rena said she may be the next victim of the curse. You mean Rena Ryugu-san? She transferred in last year, and she's your classmate, isn't she? These incidents might be a bit too disturbing for a girl. She's not just scared, is she? It wasn't that. She said it might be her next. She said it in a way that made me think she had a concrete reason behind it. It felt like she was convinced. Almost as if, you could say, she was frightened. Her sudden change in demeanor. As someone who looked like Rena, but wasn't Rena. That might be unrelated. All the strange things that I felt from Rena today came back to me. I think they may very well be related. I see. I'll be doing a bit of investigating on this end. Please continue your observations of Ryugu-san, Mibara-san. Are you asking me to keep Rena under surveillance? That's not what I mean, Mibara-san. I just want you to watch out for your friend so she doesn't end up the next victim. I think at this point, I'd be more concerned about she being the perpetrator. Probably towards me. At that moment, just as my mouth was agape, because I was so impressed with his mature, clever way of words. Knock, knock. Oh God, it must be Rena. Her Rena sense is tingling. A sudden knock at the door sent my heart racing. In an instant, I had pointlessly covered up the end of the receiver. Keiichi, get the door, please. On the other side of the door, I heard my father's oddly upbeat voice. What could it be? It's so late. Sorry, my dad just came in. Can we leave it at this for tonight? Yeah. My apologies again for calling so late. If you find out anything else, please let me know. I'll tell you if I make any progress on this end. Well then, have a pleasant evening. Keiichi, hurry and open up. Daddy's got his hands full. What is Dad doing? I had stayed in the same position while on the phone the whole time, so my joints were aching. When I opened the door, I saw my father was standing there with a tray. On that tray, cookies and 2 cups of black tea. A fairly fancy spread for our household. Everything you could ask for. This was quite the show of hospitality. What's going on, Dad? What's all this for? Come now. Don't play around, Keiichi. I'm coming in. Dad was in high spirits and had a smirk on his face. But for my entire life, I'd never seen him act this hospitable. What had gotten into him? So, what were you talking about? I jumped. It's not something I had to keep from my father. But how could I explain to him I was talking to a detective? I'm assuming he was, this late at night. Nothing much. Just a friend. I don't mean the phone. She was here, wasn't she? Rena-chan. Why would you assume she was here? Did she leave a note or something on the door? Did she stuck Colonel Sanders outside one of the windows to watch me? She wasn't here. Come now. Don't try to keep it from me. She just came over to play. You two were chatting away, so I thought I'd bring some tea, but it looks like I just missed her. I had no idea what Dad was talking about, but a cold sweat dripped down my back. How long were we talking? Rena-chan went upstairs about half after, so it was close to an hour, I guess. She probably heard almost the entire fucking conversation between me and Oichi, man. Oh shit. That's not good. That's not good. You saw her come up to the 2nd floor? Yeah, I did. I also told her that your room was the door down the hall up the stairs. And she even knew which room was mine. Rena came to my house about an hour ago. Dad met her at the door and called out to me on the 2nd floor. Probably didn't hear him because I was so focused on my conversation with Fuishi-san. I didn't reply, but he knew I was in my room, so he had her come inside. Then told her my room was on the 2nd floor. She thanked Dad and went upstairs. And about an hour passed. She passed by my dad just as he was bringing up tea and left. She came upstairs, and about an hour passed. Then passed by my dad and returned home. Then, after she came upstairs, until she left, where was Rena? The cynic in me is telling me, right outside your door. Probably peeping at you from the keyhole, if you have a keyhole in your door. There's only a short hallway between my room and the stairs. Meaning, Rena had, for about an hour, in the hall. No, she couldn't have been standing in front of my door all that time. The door to my room wasn't particularly thick. You could easily hear everything being said inside. All the ominous things, all the nonsense I'd spoke to Uishi-san about began rushing through my head. Honey, don't tease him. More importantly, you need to clean up your studio. It's a mess again. Mom yelled up and had Dad from downstairs. Dad left a tray with me and went downstairs with a disappointed chortle. I followed my dad out of the room with my eyes. I looked down at the floor around the doorway where Rena might have stood all that time. Just now, as I was talking to Uishi-san, with my back turned, Rena was standing a mere 6 feet away, whole time. All that time. In this dimly lit doorway. What did she see? What did she hear? For what reason? As the steam from the 2 teacups ominously wafted and twisted, the aroma of black tea filled my room. If I were you, I really would consider just calling the detective back and telling me, about my friend, new tip, knows from the police chief. Just consider calling him and telling him, I think maybe Rena is trying to stalk me or something, or at least glean information. Something. I feel unsafe. Okay, so what's this exactly? What's the notice going to be about? July 1st, 1982. To Departments 1 through 12. Blank Prefectural Police Headquarters. Director General Blank. To Chief Constable and all facility managers. Regarding cases situated in Hinamizawa Village. Notice. As cases in Shishibone City, Hinamizawa Village had been reported by certain sections of mass media. It has drawn global attention, which is causing serious repercussions for local residents. This has become a very serious situation. To protect the livelihood and prosperity of the residents, the following notice has been issued. 1. Designate the following criminal investigations as classified. Okinokino Station, 1982, case number X. Hinamizawa Village housewife murder dated June X. Okinokino Station, 1982, case number X. Hinamizawa Village student disappearance dated June X. 12. No disclosure information. Okinomiya Station, 1979, case number X. Hinamizawa Village site foreman murder dated June X. Shira Station, 1980, case National Park, following incident. Hinamizawa Village Central Surprise disappearance, dated June. They're all occurring in June. Right on the dot. 3. Requesting self-restraint from each organization concerning the release of sensitive information. Please see attached reference materials 1, 2, and 3. Management, blank, double X, Prefecture Police Headquarters, Terminal Line 4X, Police Department. Okay, so there was somebody who I think was a part of this club that I'm a part of called Satoshi. He was here sometime last year. He disappeared. And if memory serves, I think the last name that he has also is the same one that Satoko has. I'm pretty positive I've seen that last name somewhere. Not only that, we definitely confirmed that at least one person dies and another goes missing each and every year around the time of the festivals. And third, it would seem as though Rena is not exactly mentally stable, and she's highly suspicious of us. And frankly, she's kind of right to be a little suspicious, because we are hiding some things from her, but yeah, frankly, so were they, clearly. It's really making me wonder. It's really making me wonder. They all hid any information about the incidents, about the dammers, all that stuff from Keiichi. And they've also apparently hid information about Satoshi from him as well. And Rena's clearly mentally unstable. And she's apparently now, spying on us. I now wonder, is every single one... Do I have to keep my eyes... Do I have to keep a close eye on everyone else in the club, or just Rena? Because I think we know for sure now at this point that's Rena that I definitely got to be wary around, for sure. But it's just the other ones I'm still unsure. It's just everybody else in the club I'm unsure about. All I know for sure is that they've kept secrets from me. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, I don't know, they want to kill... That all of them want to kill me or something. And frankly, I don't know. Maybe Rena doesn't want to kill me either. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she thinks I stole something from her collection or something. And she really wants it back. I know it, and I know how bullshit, how stupid that sounds, but I mean, hey, I'm trying to keep open the possibilities here as to why Rena seems to find me inherently distrustful in some way. Especially lately. All I know for sure above everything else is that I'm clearly in some kind of danger here. And I should be very, very wary about the people around me. Especially Rena. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut the episode off here. And I can... Well, I guess I can figure out what Keiichi exactly is going to do about his situation in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 1. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all next time. Take care.